Memory and storage. In this lesson, you are going to look at the main types of memory and storage inside a computer, including where each of them is located inside the PC. For this lesson, you will need pen and paper. In this lesson, you will list the main types of memory, demonstrate the location of the memory in a PC, and discuss what each type of memory is used for within a computer system. We're going to start with listing the main types of memory. Now in the diagram below you can see there are several different types of memory listed, and these are categorised into two groups to start with. The first is temporary storage. Now temporary storage is when we use the computer's memory. Now the data in that memory is lost when the power is turned off. Now we call this volatile. Second type is permanent storage. Now permanent storage is any computer data storage device that retains its data when the device is unpowered. We call that non-volatile. Now the first storage we're going to look at is the first memory that is accessed when the computer is first switched on, and that's ROM. Now ROM stands for read-only memory, and that means exactly what it says. We can read it, but we can't change it. A bit like having a book that you can look at, but you can't change the contents of. Now this is permanent memory, and it holds the instructions that the processor needs in order to turn on the computer. So the first instructions in order to start up the computer, the same every single time, which is a reason we don't want it to be changed. Second type of memory is the cache. Now this is the fastest memory inside a computer. It is only a small amount of memory, but it's high speed, and it passes data and instructions from the RAM to the processor. The last type of memory here we're going to look at is RAM, and that's the temporary memory that holds all the current instructions and data that may have been pulled from elsewhere, and that is currently in use by the CPU. Now these three types of memory fall under the category of primary storage, and these are where the components that hold data, programs, instructions that are all currently in use, and they're all located on the motherboard inside the computer. We're now going to move on to some more types of memory, starting with the hard disk drive. Now this is a magnetic disk which rotates at high speeds, and what it does is permanently store and retrieve instructions on a computer. So every time you save a file, this is the first place it will go. The next type is a SSD, or solid state drive. Now this can be used inside a PC instead of a hard disk, or as well as a hard disk, and it's used because of its greater speed than the hard disk drive. It isn't generally as big as your hard disk drive, but because it's actually much faster, it's actually quite preferred. Last two, we've got removable storage. Now these are any form of data storage that is not inside a computer. So things like your CD that you have to insert in, your memory stick which you carry around with you, or your external hard drive, which will work exactly the same as a hard drive, but we can move it from one computer to another. The last type is our network storage, and this is where there is a server which is dedicated to storing and sharing files. Now you will have seen these in things like Y8L4 drive, which is your portion of the network that you're allowed to save your files to, and student resources, which is a shared area for accessing by staff and students for sharing of files. Now all of these are secondary types of storage, as well as others, and they're all long-term storage, which are used to keep programs and data indefinitely. And all of these will continue to keep the memory when the computer is not in use, so they will not lose their data. We're now going to have a look at the location of all the memory inside the PC. Now, last time we looked at what a computer looked like inside, but I've now highlighted the two sections where the memory that we're going to be removing are located. We're going to start with the RAM slots. There are random access memory slots. As you can see, there are 4 of them. Now in this case, 2 of them contain the RAM chips. Now in order to remove one, you must first of all push both clips at the same time downwards. What you will then find is the RAM chip will just lift out. Now this can be done with both of them. The second thing we're going to look at is our hard disk drive and our solid state drive. Now they are both located in the drive bays. In order to start removing them, you must first remove the leads. Now you can see where they're located on the solid state drive, both the power lead and the data connector. Once they are removed, you would then push the green tabs in on the side of it and it will quite easily slide out of the bay. All you would then need to do is repeat that for the hard disk drive. We're now going to discuss what each type of memory is used for within a computer system. And the task will be, first of all, to copy the following table onto your paper. Once you have copied it, making sure you've left plenty of space, you need to start by answering the developing level. You then move on to secured and mastered and complete as much of the table as you can, each time filling in for the 5 different types of memory, whether they are primary or secondary, whether they are volatile or non-volatile, what they are used for, whether they are fast or slow, an example of what size they could be. You may need to either go back and have a look at the slides from the lesson, or further back to go back in the video, or you can research this task. When you have completed as much of the table as you can, you then need to take a picture, a photo, or a screenshot for uploading to class charts. Pause the video now to complete this task. The last thing you need to complete is the exit quiz. You will find the exit quiz on a link to the exit quiz on class charts. Once you have completed the quiz, you need to take a screenshot of your score for uploading to class charts. So in conclusion, in order to complete this lesson, you must take a picture of your completed task table and upload that to class charts. And finally, you must complete the exit quiz and take a picture of your score and upload that to class charts. Both of these must be completed for you to complete the lesson.